Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to be in James chapter 5, and we're starting at verse 15, okay? Today I want to talk about faith and how it moves God. So, let's start. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord shall raise him up. And if he have committed sins, they shall be forgiven him. Now, let's stop right there for a minute. Now, this means that if on the if he has sinned part, that makes it clear that not all sickness is the result of sin, though most it is. That being the case, the Lord will both heal and save. Now, on to the next. Confess your faults one to another, and pray one for another that you may be healed. This means to a practice of expressing your faults, quickly, because no one's perfect. We all sin. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Elijah was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain, and it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. Now this clearly shows the power of the faith Elijah had in God and how it moved. Now, and he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. Now this is just one man's prayer. Just one man. I've said it before. It's not money that moves God. It's faith. You got to understand that. You can have all the money in the world and give it to the church, but that's not going to move God. I'm not saying, we're not supposed to tithe and stuff. Yes, you are supposed to give your tithings. But just because you give $1,000 doesn't mean you're going to get $1 million back. I don't teach the prosperity message. Some pastors do. And if you do if you listen to them, well, that's just false doctrine right there. Now, back on faith. Now, I know that it's hard these days to have faith in God with the way the world is. It's hard. If you're too much wrapped around in the world, you're not going to see miracles. My mother is a living testament of a miracle. And if not for God, she would not be around now. I'll tell you that story some other time. But faith is what moves God, and love for your neighbor. It says in the Bible it says in the Word that many will seek heaven, but few will find it. That's what it says. And I believe that with all my heart. I do. Our world is not much different than Sodom and Gomorrah nowadays. You'll see people go to church, but, they really don't believe it. They don't have it in their heart. But there are some that do. I believe faith moves God. I know that. See, when you go to pray for somebody, if you don't believe God can move them, and I mean truly believe with all of your heart, no doubts, what we feed grows. And if you feed doubt, then you're just going to get more. But if you stay in your word, that will feed your faith. And your faith will grow in God. But it's hard sometimes. It is. Sometimes you go through a bad time in your life, and you're like, well, God, why is this happening? Well, there are two things it can be. It can either be you've turned your back on God, or God's just sending you through a trial, and you have to stick to it, stick with Him. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I can't even count the times I've been double-minded. But I just wanted to get that out there. Study up on faith and see how much it can move in your life. Move God in your life. So I will talk to y'all later. You guys have a nice day and week. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully.